Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. I think we're here. Hi, Kat.
Hi, John.
Okay, good.
Puppet Slam?
Yes, we have glitches, but now we're here. And I will start. You look very elegant,
Oh, thank
Kat.
you. You do too. I love your bow tie.
Oh, yeah.
It's an important night.
Well, I knew that you were going to get dressed up, so I had to dress up. Welcome, ladies and everybody, one and all, to the 2021 UConn Spring Puppet Slam, presented in part with the support of the Puppet Slam Network, really great organization. And tonight, we are the home of the third annual Bimpy Awards.
Yay, the Bimpies!
I am your host, John Bell, director of the Ballard Institute.
And I am your other host, Kat Foker, and we're together with our Puppet Slam team, Emily Wicks writing the Zoom feed, Paul Spirito playing those videos, and Elise Finesse working the Facebook chat. And it's so good to be here, John.
I know, even though we're in two different states. And then you're not even in New York where you are normally.
They take you all over the world, so it's the distance,
That's Zoom the slam life.
Exactly. It's the Zoom life.
Hobnobbing and globe-trotting. Exactly. Tonight we're going to take advantage of our online medium to present to you 16 different short puppet shows from all over the place, which we couldn't do if we were in person.
We certainly could not, and in some ways it's good that, as much as it pains us that we can't have the Bimpies, in person, this is great as well because it allows us to showcase so many great awards that we're going to be handing out tonight. And as you know, John, the Bimpies is the highest honor that you can receive in puppetry.
Yes, we often use the adjective coveted because it's the coveted Bimpy Awards.
Coveted Bimpy Awards. I don't know. How many Bimpies have you won, John?
I'm still hoping. I hope I can get there and do a good puppet show someday to win a Bimpy.
I understand. Okay, well, so do you want to introduce our first Bimpy of the night?
Yeah. But first I wanted to say that this has been a super busy week at the Ballard Institute, and we want to let you know that you can still get a full household ticket for our online presentation tomorrow afternoon, our online presentation of Alex and Olmsted's award-winning and amazing show, Milo the Magnificent, which will take place tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And in the chat column, you can see how to get your ticket for that. You get one ticket for the whole household, and it's an amazing show. Wouldn't you agree, Kat?
I would. I think you shouldn't miss it.
For those of you who are new to the awards, we will be announcing the winner, and then we will share through the good graces of Paul Spirito the performance that has won them the highest honor of all, at least for the Ballard Institute. The highest honor of all.
I'd say the highest award you can win ever.
Highest award you can win ever. Yeah, that's true.
Any category of anything.
A Bimpy.
Is a Bimpy.
Okay.
Our first category of the night is Best Puppet Show based on a reoccurring dream. I think we're a little bit, if we want to slide down on that slide a little bit. Yes.
Really?
Show. Yeah, we're a little hot. We can deal with it later. But there we go. Best Puppet Show based on a reoccurring dream. Okay. And the winner is, drum roll, Mackenzie Doss with The Iceberg. Mackenzie Doss is a second-year graduate student in the UConn Puppet Arts Program. And without further ado, we present our first show of the night, The Iceberg.
A recurring dream of water. Myself stranded on an iceberg. Nothing for miles of subconsciousness but me and the sea. Sometimes a storming sea. Sometimes a calming sea. Sometimes a frozen sea. I want to get down, but I'm afraid to jump, thinking I'll land on a whale. What are the odds of that? I'm never afraid of being stuck or drowning, just afraid of all the unknowns. What else is out there? What would I be swimming with? So I sit and I watch. There's nothing, of course, but the whales I imagine might be there. When is a good time to jump in? Unfathomable fathoms rushing, flowing forward in my fearful thoughts. And so I'm frozen to the rock. Nothing but the sea and me and my thoughts. Waiting to realize that every moment was the right moment to risk a leap.
Wow, that was really great.
What an interesting use of sort of realistic settings and
Yeah.
combination of those two elements.
And it's funny because I see Mackenzie at UConn online, but who I didn't know she was making this, and it's really cool.
The art we've
Not
come up
just
with
because it's
during this quarantine, I mean, I think it is something to be said for the creative spirit.
yes, it's some things open up. Kat,
Yes?
our next category is
Oh.
best peep show. Another term for peep show is lembe lembe. Best peep show with a female lead. Is that showing up in the right place?
Great, yeah.
And the winner is Brenda Plumey with Venus. Brenda Plumey is a Puerto Rican puppeteer and educator. She studied theater art in UPR, University of Puerto Rico, in Calle, I think, and has worked with Bread and Puppet Theater as an intern. In 2008, Venus is the story of an elderly woman who discovers the beauty of aging during her bath time. I love the way that when the pandemic started, puppeteers just started making films, like, I don't know. Well, you're already making films.
It is the one art form, I gotta say, that it really speaks to do-it-yourself mentality, and also having a limited number of people, which I think, as hard as this time is, it is nice to see the works coming out of it.
And I like the way that, like, just being able to make puppet videos with your iPhone or your laptop, that totally works, I think. So I don't know. Of course, you're a sophisticated filmmaker.
I have to say, the last few exercises I have done have been on iPhones. So
okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
We did mention that after graduating from the Puppet Arts Program, now you're at Columbia University, the film program.
Film, yeah. It's so and puppetry is such a big part of that. I think totally. They go hand in hand.
That's right.
Yeah.
Our next award, Kat.
Yes.
Is I'm going to do this. I think our next award is for the best puppet show set in a butcher shop.
Every year I'm like, I wonder what the best puppet show is in a
butcher shop. I tried to get that award last year, and as you know, it didn't happen.
It's a hard one to get, I think.
Yeah.
The
award goes to Jaerin Son with Butcher's Hands Up. Jaerin is a director, set designer, and puppet show creator from Korea. She is currently working as a puppet and scenic designer at the Chicago Puppet Studio. And I think she works with Manual Cinema too, which is awesome sauce. Okay, and now, put your hands up.
Good even to you all. The dish of the day is Titus Andronicus. It's a rather time-intensive recipe. So gird thy loins and lend thy ear. Here doth approach the noble General Swine. Oh, no, I beg your pardon, General Titus. Coming back from the victorious 10-year war with the wicked poultry, the Goths, the great Titus, with his ample and juicy hams, takes the queen of the Goths and her 3 sons to Rome. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, there Titus butchers and roasts one prince of the Goths. This juicy pork, Titus, also has 4 precious sons and a beautiful daughter. So the queen of the Goths, while captive, seduces the emperor of Rome and becomes the queen of Rome as well. Seeking vengeance for her son, she orders her 2 sons to murder the fiancé of Titus's daughter, cut out her tongue, and slice off her hands as well. Voila. Moreover, the queen forges a letter framing Titus's 2 sons for the murder of the emperor's beloved brother. I know, so many sons and daughters and brothers are getting involved, and it's getting even bloodier and gorier and tastier. The enraged emperor chops off the heads of Titus's 2 sons and sends them to Titus. Look what has arrived. Surprise! Horn mad, Titus vows revenge for his daughter and sons. First, Titus kidnaps the queen's 2 sons and hangs them upside down. Titus then slits open their throats and drains them of blood until they die. It's for the ultimate freshness. Then, with the freshly obtained meat, Titus bakes a pie. Disguised as a chef, Titus serves the pie to the queen and the emperor of Rome. Pretending to plead with the emperor for what has been done to his daughter, Titus suddenly stabs his own daughter to death. He stabs his own daughter to death. Then, without hesitation, Titus gores the neck of the perturbed queen. The enraged emperor stabs Titus. Oh, I die. Oh. But Titus, with his last moiety of strength...
Can I get a meat pie? You can keep the change.
Wow. That was scary.
It was. What an interesting. It's hard to work with actual meat because it starts to smell pretty quick.
Yeah, right. So what was I when I was in graduate school, I took a class of Jacobean revenge tragedy, and they're all like that. They're all like Titus Andronicus with the chopping and the spearing and the cutting off the heads and the turning. It's all like, what was that about? Is it like horror films?
I think it is like early horror. There's a lot of that. The drama of it all, John. The drama. And I think that brings us to our next award.
Well, speaking of drama, I wanted to mention that if you like drama and you'd like to support the Ballard Institute's extensive free programming, including workshops and forums and performances like this and the one tomorrow with Alex and Olmsted, Milo Ben Gibson, please make a contribution here to the page that our colleague Emily Wicks will post in the chat column. That's what I wanted to say.
Sounds good. That's an important thing to mention. Okay, and then moving on to our next award. It's a real doozy. It's really an important award. Every year I look for this award. It is the much sought after Best Meta Puppet Show about the etiquette of attending a puppet show. And we get a lot of attendees that maybe this is their first time, and so it's an important thing to bring up. And this year it goes to Hailey Bendar with the Norb Show, 20 Seconds. Hailey Bendar is a 2016 UConn Puppet Arts graduate residing in the Vernon area. Her space has been invaded by several strange and fuzzy creatures, and she has a YouTube channel where the adventures of one Norb are documented for the world to see. So without further ado, I bring you one such adventure, the Norb Show, 20 Seconds.
Hey, what's up? This is Norb, and this is 20 Seconds. Now wash your hands.
That's Norb.
That was Norb.
I like Norb. Hailey has a very interesting sense of humor.
I appreciated Norb, his smallness. It's good. He seemed like he could get a lot of places despite his size.
I think so. I love that. Shall I go on to the next category?
Of course, yes, of course, John. Yeah.
We don't want to forget Norb, but
No.
our next category is the best two-dimensional stop motion homemade animation.
Wow.
Best two-dimensional stop motion homemade animation. And the winner is Dorothy James with Lethologica or Lethologica. Dorothy is a Brooklyn-based puppeteer who creates otherworldly narratives that attend to emotional states that are difficult to convey. She melds the grotesque with a sense of innocence to encourage her audience to embrace and care for their own darkness. Lethologica by Dorothy James. You know, I was just at the dentist earlier today.
Did it go a lot like that?
No, not at all, but I can understand this a little bit.
No, I think it's a beautiful animation.
Yeah, there's a lot of body imagery and funky body stuff tonight.
There is. No, I love it. I love funky body stuff.
I like that.
Yeah. No, and that's why we don't have a funky body stuff award, because there's just, who would we give it to? There's too many good options. But I think it brings us to our next show, our next award, which is Best Puppet Show with a Puppet Show in the Puppet Show. And the winner is Don Jordan String Theater with The Orange Puppet Book, an autobiographical story about finding a book on marionettes in your grandparents' attic. Don Jordan is an artist, puppet constructor, and performer of several shows that tour schools, churches, and festivals around the country. And without further ado, we bring you The Orange Puppet Book.
Wow.
What an interesting use of color.
Yeah, I loved it when the color came on with the puppet show within the puppet show. It was like they were doing a Greek tragedy or something. I don't know. That was awesome. And then it was pointed out that she hosts an online puppet program. I had no idea. Most of these puppeteers I never heard of.
No, and the online resources for, if you are interested in puppetry and, learning more about that world, it's really grown too in recent years. And especially now that that's such a big deal in our lives. We're always online. Right now we're online.
That's right. And our next online category is doing it online. The best experimental puppet work created in Rosendale, New York. Rosendale, New York. Although actually I think she was online with, anyway. And the winner is Time Trades by Felicia Cooper, which is an exploration of material and movement created in a workshop with Amy Trumpeter's Red Wing Blackbird Theater, which is in Rosendale. Felicia is just about to be UConn Puppet Arts MFA graduate and has held artistic residencies with Red Wing Blackbird Theater, Pearl Arts Movement Studio, New Hazlitt Theater, Folk Lab, Children's Museum of Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh Center from the Arts. She's from Pittsburgh. And now, Time Trades by Felicia Cooper. Wow. I always say wow. I liked the way like she would pull on the rope and then the projection would change. That was awesome.
No, the use of projections and on people is such an interesting combination. I think it was used very well in this short.
Yes.
But, yes, and chugging right along, we can move on to our next award, which is the best rod puppet show about an intergalactical explorer. And this year it goes to Pablo Giannetti Garlinghouse for A Creation Story. And now Pablo, very excitingly, is an incoming UConn Puppet Arts freshman. Congratulations. So exciting to have fresh blood in the program. And their main
so to speak.
Of course, we're not going to sacrifice you in any sort of way, Pablo. And their main passion is videography and video art. So without further ado, here is A Creation Story.
Hello, my name is Durges Thoraby. Today, I will be using my hologram projection watch to tell you a creation story. Sorry, it's a little difficult to get this thing to work sometimes. Oh, hey, look at that. Well, I guess it's time to tell you this story. Come along. And so, it was the future. Or maybe it was the past. And there wasn't a whole lot left. In fact, space was shrinking. The universe was dying. But there was one friend left. This friend. Hello, friend. It was the last of its kind. It lived in space. How did it live in space? There's no breathing in space. There's no eating in space. But this friend was a special friend. This friend could create matter out of nothing. And there's a whole lot of nothing in space, so for our friend, there's a whole lot of matter too. Our friend's favorite element, I'm told, was sulfur. Anyway, the universe was dying. Our friend didn't like that very much. The universe was where it lived. And so, our friend started to think. It thought so many thoughts, as it usually was doing, but these thoughts were the kind that turned into a plan. And so, after thinking a whole bunch, a plan was made. The universe was getting very small, and outside the universe was nothing but a white, empty, timeless void. And if our friend didn't act soon, that's all our friend would be too. And so, just as the universe was getting much too small, our friend put its plan into motion. Using its very unique ability, it sprouted from its head a sapling. And this sapling burst through the edge of the universe. And so, our friend, in its tiny universe with its strange sapling, became the bulb from which the cosmic tree of a new universe was sprouted. Wow, I think that story was pretty neat. And I'm so glad I got to tell it to you. Now, I really must be going. I'm late for an appointment.
I look forward to seeing Pablo at the Puppet Arts Program.
Oh, me too. I think I'm glad we have not seen the last of Pablo, because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've been reading about cosmology. So I like that sort of creation of the universe. All of that stuff makes you think.
It does. It really does. And it makes you think about puppets, I think, most of all.
Yes. I think we're about halfway through the.
We are. Oh gosh, it's
amazing.
It goes so quickly.
And I guess we're ready for the next performance. We're sort of running rapidly through because you and I could be like doing lots of brilliant
I have a lot to say about awards and the Oscars. It is award season and how they're dealing with the pandemic. But I mean, I think no greater, no one but the Bimpies really has it down. Like, when you go to the Bimpies, you expect elegance and consistency and great hosts, and I think that's really what you get.
And they're all trying to go online with the Grammys and the Oscars and stuff, but
the Bimpies have it down like that.
I think so.
Exactly.
Our next award is the Best Marionette Show Originally Based on a Monologue, or the Best Marionette Show Performed on the Third Floor of a House in New Haven. And the winner is Amy Ostreicher with Can You Catch a Moment Bubble. Can You Catch a Moment Bubble is about capturing those small moments that life gives you. And Amy is an Audie Award nominated playwright, performer, and multidisciplinary creator. She's a singer and a librettist and a visual artist. And she's also part of the UConn online certificate program. So she's UConn, Go Huskies. And she dedicates her work to celebrating untold stories and the detours in life that can spark connections and transform communities. Can You Catch a Moment Bubble by Amy Ostreicher.
Have you ever found a moment bubble? I'm sure you have. They're everywhere. They live over, under, through everything. They pass us all the time. But have you ever paused to breathe one in and see what's inside? Well, here's a moment bubble I found. A cluster of hummingbirds flying over a Berkshire hill this summer. They looked more like mosquitoes than the glorious birds of song that I had imagined. They made me dizzy. They were chit-chatting in bustling clumps, bouncing up and down like kernels at the mercy of a popcorn machine, or maybe just unsuspectingly suspended from the sky's dancing fingertips. But they were hovering above a flower, so miniature and fast that I kept losing them in the sunlight. Sunlight. How did it work its way through the cold with such sympathetic grace? Somehow, the sun spilled over the rigid edges of the cold and oozed between its sheets. It eased the cold, massaging the air like lotion working itself into weathered skin. And so it was a knowing sunlight, a pastel sunlight stroked with a kind blue, gentle as if a cloud had contoured the sky with her ring finger. I didn't think twice about it at the time, but looking back, it was really special. And now it's a memory locked in a wistful bubble. But there's more. The sunlight who understood, she lit the hummingbird bunches and blades of grass from behind. And what made the day so surreal was how the sunlight chocolate-coated the cold, how the air felt grainy, rich, and sweet. And when you pawed at it, how it felt like you could reach into a breeze and grab a handful of rice or shiny raisinets. It was a fluttering sunlight, strewn but so clearly part of a whole, drizzling through leaks in the sun. And for the first time, I truly loved the sun. It didn't feel so mind-blowing at the time. It just felt right and fine. And I guess that's what happiness feels like. That and shiny raisinets. And to think I felt so much magic at the time, but was too unconsciously blown away to even recognize it as such. A fairy tale so delicate, so tender and swollen with magic that if you moved too hastily, you might pop the moment bubbles and spirit would pour through the holes. Yet all I felt was simple ease like an idiot. murder. Yet, to me, it was just a restful haven I found on a hillside. I want it back. I want some kind of keepsake, a photograph, something I can touch. It's strange what I'm feeling now, this consuming urge to piece together the date again and replay the moments, to recapture what made it so effortlessly special. But I don't think there is such a thing as indirect happiness. I want to sprint back in time and live it again, knowing what I know now. But is what made me so happy the fact that I wasn't even aware of my happiness at all? I was just being without any need of recognition or affirmation. I can't even recall a thought from the day. True happiness is only realized and appreciated in retrospect, I guess. Which is the way it should be. So I'll cloak the memory in detached appreciation, let it drift away, wait for another bottled moment, open it, and just let it spill. Oh, there's way too much to take in, and we do it all so wildly, so uninstructed. Can we really be so on our own, left to indulge in all of this, with no one to catch us with all of our hands stuffed in a cookie jar of spirit? We are lost, but we are so blessed. We have all the choices in the world, plus the capability to decide. We've got to look out for each other. We've all got to be mothers and fathers and tell each other what to do with it all. We'll never know, but we've got our instincts. And it's enough for now. Is it enough? We've just got to keep searching for the next moment bubble. And then, there it is.
A moment bubble. Amy is a highly original artist, and I like
use of surroundings was really interesting.
Yeah. I wanted to let you know, Kat, since you're engaged in the intellectual stuff over there in Manhattan, that on April 9th and 10th, the Ballard Institute is hosting an online international symposium titled Representing Alterity, meaning other stuff, other people, other characters, through puppetry and performing objects. And this is a symposium that our UConn colleagues, Matthew Cohen and Youngmin Song, and with my assistance a little bit, and Emily Wicks, that's what we're hosting online, April 9th and 10th. And you can register for this free 2-day event on the webpage, which Emily is sharing right now in the chat column, I think. And it's going to be super interesting with people from all around the world, and I mean all around the world, talking about puppetry and how it represents different things. So, it's Elise sharing the links, not Emily. Okay. Thank you, Elise. Okay.
It's not underline Elise, but no, she could share whatever link she wants, so we have to keep her happy. But no, that sounds really interesting, John. Thank you for sharing. I'll make sure to go. And you should too at home. Not you, John, but the people watching. Which brings us, I think we can just chug right along to our next award, which is Best Puppet Show based on a popular HBO program. Now, there's a lot of HBO programs to choose from, lots of good stuff coming out of that network, but today, this award goes to Last Puppet Tonight by Rob Cutler. I think if the people at home are familiar with HBO programming, I think they can kind of guess which show that is referring to. And Rob, but a little bit about Rob. Rob is a third-year MFA student here at the UConn Puppet Arts Program. And without further ado, we present Last Puppet Tonight by Rob Cutler.
Hello there, and welcome back to this hollow, lifeless shell of a void, which is really just an artist's representation of my total lack of soul. It's just empty and barren inside at this point. We only have time for a quick look at the events of the week, ranging from Joe Biden's difficulty with stairs to the confirmation of Deborah Haaland as the first Native American cabinet secretary, Joseph Robinette Biden tripping his way into progress since 1942. Our main story this week was supposed to be a deeper dive into copyright infringement and fair use policy. But as we covered that topic, thank you, Mr. Nutter Butter, we've decided to focus on a subject that has been shockingly underreported. Puppets. Yes, it seems Sunday, March 21st was World Puppetry Day, and for some reason I just can't stop talking about how much I enjoy my fuzzy foam friends.
We'd heard that you were that you had wanted your show to really be the Muppet Show, and so we did.
Hey, John, you seem sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to be Rolf. I would like to be Gonzo.
Hi, Elmo. Hi, Rosita.
I do probably believe there is a beaker inside of me.
Hi, Mr. John.
Wow, look at you, Elmo.
You're kidding me. You're Miss Peggy.
Now, there is much, much more to puppetry than just Muppetry. But as I seem to be rather fixated on them, that's what we're going to talk about for an incredibly exhaustive, uninterrupted 28 and a half minutes, at the end of which you'll be certain that puppet awareness is the most critical issue facing the United States today. UNIMA is a global organization dedicated to celebrating the art of puppetry around the world. March 21st is World Puppetry Day. In recognition of this, I'm calling on you, John Oliver, to show some support. You seem to love spending HBO's money. Maybe you can throw a few dollars towards the next generation of artists making the kind of art that you, John Oliver, love. And I'm not talking about rodent-based erotica. If you want to support locally, maybe look to supporting either of the degree programs at the University of West Virginia or the University of Connecticut, just about an hour north of the John Oliver Memorial Sewer Plant in scenic Danbury. Getting a degree in puppetry is often a punchline for economists. Maybe you can help some students turn that joke around. If you want to get really specific, there's a grad student at UConn right now who is about to graduate and is terrified of the marketplace. He needs a job badly. But he's so desperate to find one, he's willing to go to elaborate lengths to try to get the attention of a celebrity to help him as he gets started out. Now, I hope you choose some way to support the puppetry arts, John, because if you don't, Flesh John, Puppet John might need to take action. What's that? You've noticed this lovely Liverpool scarf? Can you imagine how dashing you'd look in a Man U kit, John? Because I can. Ever wondered what it would sound like if you did an entire feature on snooker? Because I can. Maybe you'd like a 20-minute video dedicated to how much you love and appreciate Tucker Carlson. No, I have a conscience. I won't do that. But you get the idea, John. So, John, I'm hoping you'll support the puppetry arts. Obviously, you have a deep love for puppets. I'm just hoping you'll show it financially. And now, this.
Oh, John, you're muted. Oh, we have to watch the credits.
Yes, I was muted, and we're watching the credits.
I'm so sorry, John. I think I left my video on for a little bit longer than I was supposed to. I've always wanted to be interviewed by John Oliver, so I just thought now was the chance.
And there it was. You got to grab the moment.
Myself in there. No, it's just the Zoom edit. It's
We'll take it out in post. Oh, wait a minute. There is no post.
Oh no. Well, anyways, I think we should ignore that was really great. I'm sorry that my presence was continued. And moving on to our next performance, I think we could chug right along, is the best puppet show to involve 10 or more skeletons. I'm sorry, John, I'm stepping on your lines if you'd like to present this one.
No, I think it's your lines. Oh no.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you could do it.
No, you go ahead, John.
I appreciate your. Well, this year, I tried to get the best puppet show to involve 10 or more skeletons last year, but as you know, I only got up to 5.
Got up to 5. Yeah, that was hard. It's hard, you get to 5 skeletons and you think it's enough, but it's really not.
No.
Yeah.
10 or nothing.
10 or nothing.
This year's winner more than qualifies with 10. It is the show Death Can Dance by Puppets in Prague. Death Can Dance was a result of Puppets in Prague's January Breakaway Skeleton Workshop. Puppets in Prague has been teaching students all over the world to make marionettes for the last 2 decades. And when I was in Prague in 2019, I got to visit Puppets in Prague. It's amazing, and it's really cool. The company is led by puppet maker Mirek Trejtnar and his wife Leah Gaffen. So now, with no further ado, Death Can Dance by Puppets in Prague.
was very cool to see how they were so dispersed throughout the world.
Yeah. The skeleton, it's very funny, but then on the other hand, it's also kind of not funny. Death, and there's that sort of on the serious side of things this evening with the
Well, we were saying that so many of them employ gore and different sort of like bodily, I think, what was the phrase we used? I think funky bodily stuff.
Yeah.
How we said it? Yeah. I thought that was a good phrase. I just re-invoking that sort of mentality through puppets. They go well together.
I think so, yeah, because puppets are all about the body or bodies and objects, and yeah, very good, and death and coming back alive. But I digress a bit.
Animating the unanimate.
Yes, absolutely.
And what the next category, the next award we have, it's really not about that. The next award is the best puppet show about rare Boston history. Well, some Boston history is rather gory. I think this one will not be, because the winner is the Puppeteers Cooperative with the Boston Molasses disaster. The Puppeteers Cooperative, led by Sara Peattie, normally organizes pageants and parades. For the past year, it has been working online, creating the online epics, The Tiny Tempest, and The Conference of Animals, and the story site, The Decameron of Now. But that's not what they bring us tonight. Tonight they bring us the Boston The Boston Molasses Disaster by the Puppeteers Cooperative.
On January 15th, 1919, in the north end of Boston, Massachusetts, a storage tank filled with 2.3 million gallons of molasses burst. The resultant wave of molasses rushed through the streets at an estimated 35 miles per hour, killing 21 and injuring 150. They say that the area still smells of molasses on hot summer days. But the problem of time and viscosity is eternal. For instance,
it is I, the Utriconodon. You do not see me. I am so small, I barely exist.
I am the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I am invincible in strength, mighty in power. Fear me!
Hello, this is the businessman calling. How do you do? And good day to you. I'm a businessman, and my business is doing rather well.
I am the city. I am beautiful. I fascinate all who see me.
I am the tank of molasses. I sway. I groove. My seed drip molasses. And the little children gather it in buckets.
I'm an artist, dreaming. I see my works playing in the middle of Lincoln Center. A crowd of thousands cheers.
I believe it might be time for a snack.
I will stroll home through the sunset.
The stress, age, fermentation.
I hit the snooze button and dream on, but the dream is drifting away.
I am the tank of molasses. Age, fermentation. At last it's time to give way.
The tank explodes.
My tiny feet don't dent the surface of the quicksand.
Where has my snack gone? My feet!
I start to get up in the morning, but it's as if my feet are stuck to the floor, as if I'm trying to walk in quicksand, or maybe molasses.
I'm rolling around in something sticky. I can't keep my feet. They stick in the mess, and my head goes under. Ooh.
It is I, Time. I destroyed cakes and tyrannosaurus, business deals and dreams. We're doomed.
We're doomed.
We're doomed.
We're doomed.
We're doomed.
We're doomed.
We are all, in a sense, doomed, stuck in the molasses of time with no escape.
We will save you. We will save you.
We will save
We
you.
will save you.
We will save you.
We will save you. We will save you. We will save you.
The Puppeteers Cooperative, they have a way of telling a story that's not the way stories are sometimes normally told.
You know, sometimes stories need to be told in different ways.
I thought that
who are
was...
we? Yeah.
Who are we? What?
Who are we to say stories, structures, all different ways, embracing with puppets.
Yes. And with time, I was thinking of Pablo's show about time, and this was about time jumping back and forth and the molasses, and it's all true. It's a true story from top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, should we move on?
I think we should, John. Yes. What's the next word? Yeah, tell what's the next word, John? I was going to prompt you, but go ahead.
I appreciate it because sometimes I get a little sidetracked. Our next hotly contested category is Best Abstract Stop Motion Music Video. Best Abstract Stop Motion Music Video. There's a lot of different elements of that, and this year it goes to Relier by Eat, Drink, Tell Your Friends. Relier was made for the Philadelphia-based musician Andrew Daly Frank. And Eat, Drink, Tell Your Friends is a non-hierarchical company consisting of Andy Manjuk, Asher Reyes, Rachel Shapira, and Dorothy James that explores intimate stories to start larger conversations. So, Eat, Drink, Tell Your Friends show titled Relier. What did you, as a filmmaker, Kat, what did you think of that?
Oh, I thought it was very well. Oh, lots to say as a filmmaker. I thought it was very interesting. I thought the use of the movement of since it is abstract, not quite telling a formal narrative story, the movement of the shapes was very enjoyable, and sort of the way it worked with the music was very serene and peaceful.
Yeah,
I got a lighter and I started moving it back and forth to just
no way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I put it away now, but in the height of the moment.
Because it had that effect. That's
Yeah.
Music and images and puppetry can do that to one.
It can be really moving, and
Yes.
in that it was a very calm, nice piece. Exactly. But our next piece proves to be, well, just as interesting. It is the best original fairy tale, a very exciting category. And the award goes to Kettlehead Studios for their show, The Woman of the Deep. Now, a little bit about Kettlehead Studios. Kettlehead Studios is comprised of Portland-based artist Robert Amico and Kazia Peter. Robert has worked as a performer and puppet designer with several Portland theaters, and Kazia is a costume and fashion designer who, as a child, performed with Ringling Brothers Circus. Pretty exciting. So without further ado, here is The Woman of the Deep.
When he cast his nets, he saw something moving in the depths below. But it was no fish. It was the woman of the deep. "Are you the woman of the deep?" the fisherman asked. "I am," she said. "I hear that you are the queen of the monsters of the sea." "What you hear is true," she said, "and knowing that, I will not begrudge your leaving." "No," he said. "Stay a while and speak with me, for I am not afraid, and I would know more about you." And they spoke long into the night, and she shared with him her knowledge of many things. "Will you come again?" the woman of the deep asked. "Yes," said the fisherman. And so he did. Night after night, he met with her there, and love began to grow between them. Then, one night, she was nowhere to be found. Just as he was going to give up hope of seeing her, a voice came up from the water below. "I cannot rise to meet you," said the woman of the deep, "for the ocean is heavy and weighs upon my heart." "I will dive to the bottom," said the fisherman, "and hold up the ocean for you." As he swam, the water got colder and darker, and he could feel the ocean bear down upon him. But even that darkness could not hide the things that lurked in the deep. "I am sorry," he said, "but I cannot help." "Where are you going?" she asked. "I need to go." "But please don't leave us," she said, "for it is dark and cold, and we are afraid to be alone." "I know," he said. "It is dark and cold for me as well, and the ocean is not mine to bear." "You can't leave us." And the woman of the deep, the queen of the monsters, yet their ward, rose from the sea, and the fisherman was filled with horror at her sight.
I was worried you weren't going to appear there for a moment.
Well, I was deeply affected by that show.
No, you know what I really appreciated in that one was the use of different sets and how it moved between them so fluidly. I thought that was really impressive.
I think it was like sophisticated camera stuff. And then I'm glad that he didn't die. That he didn't get eaten by the woman of the deep.
Well, that's a sign of good storytelling investment. You were emotionally invested in the character.
And this, like some of these puppet shows, there's a lot of them tonight. They're sort of funny, and then they get serious, and then it's this interesting balance, which I enjoy.
No, yeah, I think puppetry is a great medium for playing with that balance.
Yeah. It sort of comes up on you, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, it turns and goes another way.
Yeah.
Are you going to make puppet films when you're part of your work now?
Oh gosh, you know what?
I'm putting you on the spot.
You are. Well, I'm never going to stop using puppets. They're too good to. You can't stop using puppets.
Okay.
Once you have puppets, you can't ever leave them. Is how I feel about puppetry. It lives. It's inside of you forever.
There you go.
Yeah. Exactly.
I want to mention one more time before announcing the next and second to last category, Milo the Magnificent by the amazing Alex and Olmsted, which we're posting, and you can see it. You have to pay a little bit, but it's a really great show. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. and the link is there in the chat column. The next category, the second to the last category, is, and here we go, the best puppet show about root vegetables. Now,
difficult.
As you know, last year I tried to do that with a potato, and it didn't quite work out.
Yeah, there's a lot of contention about what exactly a root vegetable is. It makes for a tricky category, definitely,
Like peanuts they're not really a root vegetable, but they're in the ground.
Well, yeah. Well, they're petitioning to have a best puppet show about non-root vegetables. We'll see if it takes off for next year, but
I've been thinking about lettuce. So the winner of this category is My Parsnips by Jenabeth Davidson. Jenabeth is a puppeteer, actress, and musician who's working towards her MFA in puppet arts at the University of Connecticut. So we know Jenabeth. And now we're going to see My Parsnips.
Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. I grew strong. I learned how to get along, and now you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your key. If I'd have known for just 1 second, you'd be back to bother me. Go on now, go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now. You're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I. hey, I will survive. As long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I will survive. Ah, I will survive. Hey, hey. It took all the strength I had not to fall apart, just trying hard to mend the pieces of my broken heart. I used to spend so many nights just feeling sorry for myself. I used to cry, but now I hold my head up high and you'll see me. Somebody new. I'm not that chained up little person still in love with you. And so you felt like dropping in and just expect me to be free. But I'm saving all my loving for someone who's loving me. Go on now, go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now. You're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with goodbye? Did you think I'd crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh no, not I. I will survive. As long as I know how to love, I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. I will survive. I will survive. Hey, hey.
Now that's a slam piece.
It is. It's the spirit of a slam. It's fast. It's fun.
And I thought the parsnips were really beautiful parsnips.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Got some singing. I love a good song. Love a good song. But that brings us, John, I think what we're not saying, which is kind of, you know, what we're bottling up, is that this is our last award of the night.
Yeah.
It goes so quickly.
I know. It's been so much fun. And all the different shows have been so interesting and great and different.
And I think it's always sad to say goodbye to the Bimpies and put it away for another year.
But then I think, well, maybe next year there'll be another set of Bimpy Awards.
Like those parsnips, the Bimpies will survive, I think
so. And people all around the world, or less, will be thinking, how can I try to be awarded a Bimpy with my show?
There usually is an award. We can't provide it to you digitally, but usually you
not
do.
This time.
But I think we should move on to our last piece without further ado. Last but not least, we have saved one last award. It's the Never Give Up Award, and it's awarded to a puppet show that inspires us never to give up. Hence the name, the Never Give Up Award. And the winner is Manual on How to Catch a Star by Lormiga Títeres. From Sonora, Mexico. Have you ever tried to catch a star? Of course you have. So is Valentina in this next story. She's tried everything, and maybe her perseverance will finally pay off. Lormiga Títeres is comprised of Eileen Ruse and Serena Pedrosa. And without further ado, here is Manual on How to Catch a Star.
Such a beautiful dream.
Oh my God.
There we are.
Such a beautiful send-off.
I have to say something, Kat.
Yeah.
Because it's an important... Títeres.
Oh, I'm sorry. Títeres.
Títeres, because that's puppets in Spanish.
Panic. I get so caught up in the awards that I
Right. I know.
lose
that
all the
happens.
function of my mouth. And
Right.
Títeres.
People come up to the... You lose... Yeah. That's
why the Oscars never call me back to host. Is this exact reason. I keep asking if I can, and but I mean, it's okay because the Bimpies are such a superior award.
Right.
Exactly.
And you're always welcome at the Bimpies. Everybody's always welcome at the Bimpies.
Yeah,
so,
everyone is always welcome at the Bimpies, and that's why it's...
Now it's time for us to say thank you to everybody. For example, Elise Van Ness for posting everything on the Facebook, and Paul Spirito for VJing the movies, and Emily Wicks. There he is. Okay, I guess we're, oh, good, make an appearance.
Hi, everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
Elise, you should make an appearance. And Emily Wicks for organizing everything. Now we're Emily, there she is. Okay. So, and now we wanted to just mention again about getting a household ticket for Alex and Olmsted tomorrow. And if you want to support our extensive free programming, please do so. And don't forget the online symposium representing alterity through puppetry and performing objects. And Kat, maybe we should say good. Is it time to say goodbye?
Yeah.
We'll just
with our perfectly normal pants, right? Yeah.
Because it's Zoom time.
It's Zoom.
Yes, your normal pants.
I hope the audience likes this visual bit. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you.